Okay, back here and NBA Live 96 challenge. We skipped ahead to the playoffs last week. There's an alternate universe out there where this regular season is still going on and we're playing it out. But this is you and I both, and we're in this universe, so we know that we're playing the playoffs now. And the Jazz are the 1 seed taking on the Seattle Supersonics in this one to move on to the Western Conference Finals. We'll see who winds up with the win in this one. Look at this, though. Sonics are pretty good. Might be better than the Jazz. Gary Payton. Kendall Gill. Detlef Schrempf. Sean Kemp. And Ernie Johnson. Of course, all the Jazz games will be at home this season. Antoine Carr continues his streak. And the milkman, Karl Malone, starting this one out with the easy bucket. And we'll see. Look at that block. David Benoit. It's just, if you go back and watch the first couple games from this video series, you see a pretty much completely different game being played out. But something has clicked. Look at this. See? Something's clicked for us as this season went on. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Baskets got a little bit easier to make, like they got a little bit, we started to figure out how to run the offense and stuff, but I would still argue that wasn't really enough to justify winning by like 50, And it seems like they started missing some shots too, but if you take a look at our shot chart, like it is predominantly right at the rim, man. Like, see right there. Oh, I feel like every time I go to show an example, something like that happens, and we're tied up at 4. Couple buckets from the Sonics, and then Antoine Carr with the dunk. Puts the Jazz back up by 2. Ball tip knocked away, up ahead. David Benoit with the dunk. The Jazz 4 of 5 now. So the lead double back out, 8-4. As the Sonics, they get blocked. That's been another big thing too, is the block shots that have come in really in the second half of this video series. Been pretty wild. That pass tip knocked away. Kemp comes up with it. And those bad threes we took kind of helped keep them in this one. And look at that. See? We'll take some bad shots. We'll keep them in it. And it's just a matter of getting a bunch of layups in a row. That's almost how the second half of this season has worked. Well, the Sonics are a good team. I don't think they went to the finals this year or around that time where it was 95, 96. They're not a bad team, but these were, for the mid-90s, these were probably the 2 best teams with the Rockets mixed in there at 3rd. And you can see, probably just a more suitable 1-5 for taking on Jordan's Bulls and the Sonics, as the Jazz didn't have a lot of depth outside of maybe like the big 3, like Benoit and Carr. Those were not guys that were gonna wind up helping you dethrone Michael Jordan, especially once you got into the bench. John Crotty. And of course, we all know what happened with Brian Russell. Kemp, you can't guard Malone. They probably had some good wars. I'd like to go back and watch those two go at it. But is the NBA missing out on something, like just not having every game available on demand? Can you imagine like what you'd be able to do if you had every single NBA game from any season on demand. How much would you pay for that? You could have like video watch-throughs of just like a specific season and kind of act like it's that moment in time. You know, like you could just be like, "Oh, hey, wait, we're gonna walk through the 1991 NBA season," and then just kind of react to it in real time, act like it's happening live this year. I don't know. I think that kind of stuff would be fun. I mean, what are you doing? You're sitting on those games forever, and for what? It makes you wonder if those games are even really out there. Surely so, though. Jazz back up by 1 as I continue my diatribe over how the NBA should use their videos and old games and license their product. Crotty with the steal. And then he gives it over to Malone. Smart, especially given how close this game is. Puts it back at 3. Crotty to the milkman, Karl Malone. I'm just saying, like, I would, you know, of course, you look at copyright stuff, but you could probably circumvent that, find a way around it, and just be like, all right, here was every game that happened on November 8th, 1991. Oh, my God. Like, Charles Barkley had a huge night that night. Wasn't that crazy? Use an AI site to have fake Stephen A. Smith talk about how Mark Price is the future of the league or something. This Chris Mullin? What are we doing here? Chris Mullin is the future of this league. That is not my Stephen A. But awful close. Ran out of time. Ran out of time, folks. Maybe I should focus on the game, as this one's actually close. The people who have watched every game so far this season are like, all right, this is like the closest game we've had in like 8 games, and he's over here talking about trying to put every NBA game on video streaming sites. It's important to me, okay? It's important to me. I got people texting me wanting to know where the NBA video is today. Just a little late. Come on now. Look at that. Big 3 there from John Stockton puts the Jazz up 4. Fiance gets a guest starring role in the credits this week for all these texts. Stockton with the rebound. Oh. Why would you run all the way out there, sir? Antoine Carr. Out of bounds. Just ran out of bounds. Hornacek. 15-footer. That seemed like that should have went. It does not. And the Sonics have the rebound. This one's still close. That's Sarunas Marcellonis. Good defense. Bucket still good. 2-point game. Jazz out in front. The Greg Ostertag playoff experience. Now again, if we lose this game, if the Sonics win, that's it for this video series. We're done. And we'll probably come back to NBA Live sometime down the road, but we have season 2 of our NBA content that we're going to try out. And of course, we're spiraling towards the end of our NHL series, and we are real close to the end in our Tecmo Super Bowl series. I think there's a few games left in backyard baseball before the playoffs start, and then we're in it for the long haul. Oh my. We're in it for the long haul in NASCAR, which is fine. I'm having a good time playing that. Sean Kemp at the free throw line, a 75% shooter on the season. First free throw good. And the Sonics still out in front here. Are they going to send... Oh, my. Are they going to send the Jazz home? That's what we need to do there. Just need to kind of focus up. Yeah, I'll guard everybody, David Benoit. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that, brother man. Oh, backcourt violation. And now the Jazz have a chance to take the lead after that. Tom Chambers. You know Tommy's going to go right to the bucket. Tommy, can you hear me? Bucket for Chambers. Puts the Jazz back out in front by 2. Now that pass tip knocked out of bounds by David Benoit. A couple starters back on the floor for the Jazz. 15-footer from Peyton. Good. Hornacek for 3. Have probably a contributing factor to the closeness of this game were all the missed threes that the Jazz have taken so far. Probably more than any game this season. Good rebound. Throwing up ahead. Tommy Chambers goes right at Peyton, and he can't get it to go. Peyton down with the rebound. Of course, we got Season 2 of football figured out. And not sure what we're going to do about hockey and baseball if that time comes. What? That is goaltending. But we definitely have Season 2 for basketball and football coming up. And it might be sooner than later for basketball if the Jazz don't get this figured out. The whole point of this video series was to give the Jazz, not give it, but win the Jazz a championship. If only it could be given. 30 seconds left here in the half. Oh, just stolen by Hornacek. And he is fouled by B. Houston. What in the world? Just slightly off. And it's like, yeah, you're going to throw it off the backboard now. Jeff Hornacek, 88% shooter. He's just going to throw it off the back. That's over the backboard. That's out of bounds. No! They get the bucket. Benoit at the buzzer, no good. And the Jazz are going to take a 1-point lead into halftime. So this one's been close. We've touched on a lot of topics outside of the game. I told you everything going on in every other video series except for this one. Now we gotta knuckle down. How far out does the coach's box extend? 10 feet? I don't know. We've not had to use it. Jerry Sloan not had to really be out of the coach's box much this season. But now the Sonics, not the Hornets, are putting up a fight here in this win or go home game. 1 point. Who will win the second half? And already the Sonics are winning it. It's over. Gary Payton, defensive foul, his second. Stockton. And a bit of a dogfight here. Little spin move action there. Back the other way. Greg Ostertag. The Greg Ostertag experience. The GOE. Kendall Gill, 3 in the key. That's a team foul. Jazz with the substitution! And Antoine Carr with the finish. 3-point game now. Just did not rotate there. Get the easy bucket. Antoine Carr back on the other side. Keeps the Jazz up by 3. Gill. And Kendall Gill keeping the Sonics in this one. It is Kendall Gill versus Antoine Carr, just like we knew it would be when we saw these lineups. David Benoit. Oh. Substitutions on the floor for both teams. Missed bucket. Antoine Carr with the rebound. Kicks it up ahead. Malone with it. Malone tries to give it out, or excuse me, Carr tries to give it out to Ostertag. That ball is stolen. Kendall Gill on the wing. Hornacek gives him room. Why are we doing that? It's a 1-point game once again. Now some full court pressure here from the Sonics. And I would say the Jazz will make him pay for it, going up for that shot. Shrimp fouls him. Smart foul. Putting Malone on the free throw line. First free throw good. Former WCW legend, Karl Malone. Long three. Front iron. Malone rebound. Kicks it up ahead. Carr back behind the defense for the easy dunk. That's a big 5-point swing there for the Sonics. Not getting that 3. And then the quick dunk on the other end. Once again, 3 in the key. A second team foul. Benoit back behind the defense. Looking for some help. Gives it over to Malone. No way Malone can be stopped by Marciulionis. And now this lead has ballooned up to 7. The Jazz got a few stops that they needed. Good rebound there from Malone. Stockton has it on Payton. Gives it up to Malone. Malone glowing. Misses that one. Jump pass. So much for being on fire, Karl Malone. Marciulionis inside his man. He's way off out of bounds. Substitution on the floor for both teams. The ball tip knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Jazz. Look at Malone just back his man in. Gets the bucket. It's a 9-point game now. As at points, the Sonics had led here. Utah kind of putting some stuff together. Rebound Crotty. Kicks it up ahead to Malone. He gets a step and finishes at the rim. It's a double-digit lead for the Jazz here in the third now, as the milkman, Karl Malone, has taken over. 14-footer, no good. Crotty, rebound back behind the defense. Nobody there. Karl Malone with the finish. And now the Jazz putting together that patented third quarter we've seen a few times this season. Can the Sonics respond? 13 is an awful lot to come back from here. Quite a test. Missed shot. Crotty, another rebound. Ooh. Trying to go for that quick pass dunk. And there we have it. Big third quarter for the Jazz. Makes it a 13-point game. 56-43. 28 feet. I was way off. How far does that thing go? It's a lot of feet. Hornacek looking to put this one away at the start of the fourth. Can't quite do it. Big rebound. Knocked back. Now stolen by Hornacek. Trying to kick it up ahead to Malone. That pass tip knocked away. Stolen back by the Sonics. They'll reset. Now that pass tip knocked away. Malone with the steal and the dunk. The milkman. And he has been big here in the second half. Absolutely huge so far. Long three up. And there's an answer finally. Gets it back down to 12. Now that pass tip knocked away. Backcourt violation. Can the Sonics get it down to single digits here? Single digit Sonics. That's what they're called. Big shot. No good. Malone down with the rebound. Pump fake on the shot. Perkins has it. Ball tip knocked away. Now out of bounds. Stays here with Seattle. Turnaround floater from Perkins, and it's good. Very confusing there. It looked like it might have been no good, but it was good. And Malone back in Kemp in. This might be a new record for points in a game. And just, oh, a beautiful pass. High-low with Greg Ostertag, and the experience puts it in. All right, Crotty will guard Sean Kemp and Detlef Schrempf. Parks and Recreation star Detlef Schrempf gets the bucket there. Brings it back down to 12. 3.5 minutes left to go in this one. Gonna need some stops. And that's one way to get one. Antoine Carr guarding Peyton, but gets it down to 10. Unable to stop him. Tom Chambers, easy bucket. 28 assists for the Jazz in this one. Staying right at 10, though. Certainly the most fight we've seen from anyone in quite a while in this game. Chambers with the finish at the rim. And it's the bench that has played big here tonight for the Jazz at times. John Crotty, another defensive rebound. Oh, and it's the bench that has played terribly for this Jazz at times. Oh, tip by Carr, stolen, thrown up ahead, now tip, knocked away, out of bounds, Jazz ball. Adam Keefe checks in. John Stockton will run the pick and roll with Malone. Nobody steps up to Stockton, and it's an easy 12-footer on the baseline. So if this lead holds, the Jazz look like they'll work their way into the conference championship. Well, they will host it. But against whom? 68-56, 130 left here. Throwing up ahead. Malone back behind the defense. Easy. And I think if I had to say if there's one contributing factor to what has changed in this series since the very beginning, it's our fast breaks and just the points we've been able to get off of fast breaks. Like just bam, bam, up ahead. Malone has it, easy dunk. That has probably been the number one contributing factor in how different these games have played out in the second half of this video series, for sure. "15 defensive rebounds. Adam Keefe finishes. It's an 18-point advantage, and it looks like the Jazz are going to take home this win. Little touch and go at points, and the Sonics certainly put up quite a fight and still are as they hit that bucket. Blue making it difficult. Look at these boards. Malone, though. This, finally, a huge breakout game for the Milkman here. I'm not sure what his stats are going to be at the end of this one. Probably nothing too impressive outside of points, but his second half helped spurn this Jazz team to a victory. There he gets the rebound, throws it up ahead to Benoit. And Benoit off the rim, no good. Definitely the Karl Malone game. He gets the steal here and the easy finish, and Karl Malone is going to have himself a basketball game, folks. Congratulations to the Jazz. Moving on to the conference finals, thwarting this foe in the Seattle Supersonics. Karl Malone is going to be your Lake Escape MVP of the game, as the Jazz will move on here into the next round. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to me. I'm the one playing as the Jazz, so really all me, if we're being honest. Malone with 30 tonight, including 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals. So a pretty good game for Karl Malone. Pretty good. I want to see how many defensive rebounds John Crotty had. Offensive rebounds. Crotty had 1 offensive rebound. And then 4 defensive rebounds. Nice job, Crotty. 5 for him. Led the way. 4 steals, assists, 9 for Hornacek, 7 for Stockton, 3 for Crotty. So just a good all-around effort. And this is what I was talking about. Like, if you take a look at this for the Jazz, this is what our shot chart looks like pretty much every game. A lot of stuff in the paint. We're very much running a style almost akin to today. Layups and three-pointers. So that's not too surprising to me. There you see Karl Malone's shot chart. Not too shabby. But the Jazz will move on. Let's see who they will play in the very next game. And just like that, there is no more 28-game season. There is only the playoffs. And the Jazz will take on the Portland Trail Blazers for a chance to move on. Oh, is this? Oh, okay. Well, they're going to take on Houston. That was a 3-game series. I apologize. So they will take on the Houston Rockets now for a chance to go to the finals, where it will be Toronto or Detroit waiting on them as Chicago knocked out. Houston and the Jazz on the next video for a chance to go to the NBA Finals. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, do whatever you want. Just enjoy your YouTube experience. We'll see you next Monday as we continue this playoff push for the Jazz and try and win a title. Thanks for watching.